This is the future.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, Sigval Grim here, and I know what you're thinking. Come on Sigval, the second post already, only from one post about Wonder Woman stats, you're really milking it at this point, but look, I'm sorry. I messed up last time, and I forgot to mention something. I overlooked something, so huge thanks to Devil Dorello for pointing that out in DMs. So we talked about this passive and how it will be amazing for her as a damage dealer, and I overlooked something, a quite important detail. Wonder Woman and her teammates. This thing is going to apply to any character in the game. The fact that they're going to be able to get 2% more crit damage all the way to a 100% in addition, like putting them all the way to 400% crit damage for each 1% defense. So it means if a character has a bare minimum of 50% defense, you're going to get a 400% crit damage on them instead of a 300%. And even if that character doesn't have by default that amount of defense, trust me, 2 attack gear rolls, which is what's gonna take for most characters to reach from their current, which is gonna be in worst case scenario. Hold on, we can actually check that. So Catwoman, I don't think she has any defense here. So the base one with how much she receives from the gear, she has 5 base. Maybe let's say worst case scenario is 25 or even 24. Worst case scenario, you're going to need 2 gear rolls at level 70 gears to fully activate this passive. And that thing will pretty much turn into giving you all the way to 100% more crit damage. Now this is huge because crit damage every single time you're going to hit to trigger a critical hit, it's gonna pretty much triple your damage. And now you're going to deal 4 times the damage instead of 3 times the damage. And because look, there's not a 100% crit chance on characters, and her second passive is not gonna apply to other characters, only for the classic characters, so that's not something that's gonna give you more crit chance for all your characters, just the crit damage part. So since the crit damage part is definitely gonna be a thing, your characters, granted you're never gonna crit 100% of the times, are going to get a 20% damage boost. And the 20% damage boost for pretty much any character in the game. Unless you include some other synergies like the Beta Club, because Beta Club synergizes crazy well with additional percentage things. So she's gonna be already, if she sucks ass as a damage dealer, which is not necessarily gonna be the case, she's gonna be a very, very good support character, because previously we had Vixen, and Vixen was kind of underwhelming with this thing. Like, we thought she would give so much more damage, because it doesn't say attack, it says it gives you damage, but it gives you more attack, so this was kind of dumb. But when it comes to something that is flat out going to give you crit damage, a stat that we can take a look at, a stat that we can calculate, a stat that we've worked with and we know we can count on it, when it gives you crit damage, you know it's gonna be good. So then this thing is gonna be amazing for so many characters in the game, and it's gonna generate so many possibilities. Can fly and Aquaman can ditch Red Hood as a support and use her, and King, as far as I remember, has a higher base defense than other characters. So look, is already going to trigger almost the maximum amount of passive from her by default with his normal build without you having to add any more defense on there. He's gonna trigger it to max. Server Banshee, though, it will be a little bit hard to introduce that in the Server Banshee team, and most likely there will be better team-ups, but she'll trigger that without any help. With Black Manta, I think this is gonna be particularly good. Black Manta already has got some decent defense, because he's also got some gear sets, so he only needs for you to get rid of 1 roll of attack from his gears for him to take full effect of the passive. So that's yet again gonna be amazing for Black Manta, and there's plenty of room on the Black Manta team, because you just keep Brainiac and get Vixen out, or use Brainiac with something else and keep Vixen and Wonder Woman, and he's gonna have far more crit damage. I even see a possibility for this, though I don't think people will do that because there's just gonna be better choices. But even with the Batman team, you could take Grodd out if you don't need the defense reduction in a specific fight, and use that for the crazy good synergy with the Beta Club that they have. Even we can see a Harley team doing this, or a Joker team. Just add some defense on them and the possibilities are gonna be endless. And as I said, crit damage is gonna go very, very well with other multipliers, because it's just calculated to go well with them, because it's a stat that it's something you would add anyway, and if you had the possibility to add more, you would. It's gonna do amazing with this thing that's gonna increase the damage on stunned opponents, and with EPI's dot is gonna do amazing on top of Joker's passive. That's gonna give you more damage for each dead character. So she's gonna be an amazing support character by default, so there's no way Wonder Woman is gonna be a flop. Now look, she's definitely not gonna be on the level of Raven, and using her with Raven is definitely gonna be an option out there, but I think it will be a situation where it will simply be too much to be worth using, because it's just gonna be overkill. It's gonna deal more damage than you need to, and Darkness Falls is still gonna be so much better as a buff ability than anything that Wonder Woman is gonna bring to the table, but she's still gonna be an amazing support, and yet again a support that's gonna be very, very versatile. There's a lot of characters that already triggered this by default, and there's a lot of characters that you can easily make trigger this. Even with like Multiverse, Armored Superior is gonna be another thing, especially because of her huge attack stats that she already has. She has some base defense. Yeah, 29. It's pretty much worst case scenario, but you're gonna remove 2 attack. You're gonna put that on the talents actually, because you got plenty of place on the talents, and you can use that way. You can use it that way in like league raids at the very least. So there is plenty of options. So the future for Wonder Woman, honestly, after taking a look at this thing, is looking pretty bright. And as a support character alone, like, leaving the damage dealer side of things aside, she's definitely gonna be far, far better than Vixen. And it only comes to as a damage dealer, and as a damage dealer, a lot of you asked already what I speculate will happen. So first up, there's no way she's gonna be better than Kim Flan, Sakuman, any of the League of Anarchy characters, Catwoman, Black Manta. She's not gonna be better than those. But I think she's for sure gonna, or Deathstroke, I think she's for sure gonna be better than at least the Justice League team and the Multiverse team. And I think it's gonna be a close call with Silver Banshee. Now, a lot of people on the stream when we talked about this defended Silver Banshee, and I got nothing against Silver Banshee. I love Silver Banshee. She's one of my favorite characters and I want her to thrive. But I think there might be a real possibility that Wonder Woman as a damage dealer herself will pull more damage with Silver Banshee. Now, the only question that kind of remains to be asked is how much more damage? Is she gonna be so good as a damage dealer herself to the point where it's worth using her like that and she deals more damage by herself than she would add to another team? Or is she gonna be used as a support character? But regardless, she's gonna be a viable character unless they messed up and somehow the crit damage doesn't register. But yeah, that was about it for what I have to say about this video. Huge thanks for watching, huge thanks to Devo for pointing this out, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye!
This is the future.